Hi Scorpio, I hope that you're all doing well. My name is Gabriella for anybody new. If you are new, welcome to the channel. If you are not new, welcome to the channel. We are here with a tarot reading for you. The tarot reading is timeless, and it is also a general reading for any and all of your Scorpio placements. If you are a Scorpio rising, this may resonate for you within your physical 3D life. If you have your Venus in Scorpio, this can be connected with your interpersonal relationships. If you have a Scorpio moon, this can definitely be connected with what's going on emotionally for you. If you have a Scorpio sun, this can be connected with your path. It can be connected with your purpose, connected with your creativity, what you feel like you came here to do. So wherever Scorpio falls in your chart, for some of you, I'm getting some Pisces placements too. Also, whatever house Scorpio falls in your chart can also be the area of your life where this is taking place too. So without further ado, we're going to get into the reading. What I'm seeing already is that there is some type of disarray happening with somebody. We're looking at the Five of Wands and the Nine of Swords just in the pre-shuffle here. And this can mean like you're feeling conflicted about something, really in a spot where you're feeling a bit distressed about like what to do. You may be having a hard time resolving something internally. This can also be something going on between you and another person where there's somebody that like you're arguing with, or you just like can't, maybe you're having a hard time like compromising with this person, or they're just like really difficult to work with, and there can just be a lot of like butting heads and feeling upset because of that. So we're gonna get further and see what exactly is happening here. Something could have also said, you could feel heartbroken about something. You could have said something and hurt someone. Somebody could have said something to you and you feel hurt, betrayed for some of you, I'm hearing. Definitely feels like the opposite of a peaceful situation. This feels tumultuous. Hanged Man. Neptune, Pisces placements. So when it comes to the Hanged Man, there is a focus on trying to allow yourself to be still, to be sitting with what's going on, and to also zoom out. Because Hangman is about shifting your perspective. See how this person is hanging upside down? Rather than seeing it how you would normally see things, you may find that shifting your perspective is going to be helpful here. You may also want to take this time to not do anything. Because Hangman is also like, let me step back. Let me reevaluate this situation. Let me like try on another perspective. Let me try to zoom out as well. Maybe I'm too close to the situation. Maybe I'm seeing something within a vacuum as well. How do I back up from there? Especially for you, wherever you have your Scorpio placements, it is asking you within your life, how can you go deeper, and how can you evolve psychologically? How can you evolve spiritually? All of the Scorpio energy is about shedding skin, and it's about shedding how you normally do things and letting go of things, which is interesting because Scorpio is a fixed water sign. So fixed is like, I'm going to hold on to this forever. However, the point of it is to be able to recognize that in letting go of something, you're allowing for new growth to be moving in. And so you're just getting rid of what's obsolete and what's not needed any longer. This does feel like a fresh situation though. Also, for those of you that are new tuning in, I channel as well as interpret the tarot cards. I read energy too, so we have stuff that comes up that's not traditionally seen in the tarot as we go through the reading. So if you hear me talking about I'm hearing or I'm tasting or I'm seeing, that is where this is coming from. So you may be like shifting your perspective around and still just feel disappointed about the outcome of this situation. Also too, as hard as it can be, like talking as, like I have a Pluto dominant chart. I have a lot of Scorpio within my chart because I have a Pluto dominant chart, and also because I have a lot of squares in my chart. I have more squares than any other aspect. There's a lot of things, there are a lot of things that need to be worked out. So those of you that have heavy Scorpio placements, those of you that have strong Scorpio placements, or Scorpio / Pluto highly aspected within your chart, you're going to come into situations that you feel like change you in these groundbreaking ways. And so there's definitely something going on here emotionally that feels very difficult. What I'm seeing is that as you spend time as the Hanged Man, which the deal with the Hanged Man is like, this is somebody that the way that they're feeling, they're like looking for this different perspective, they're looking for this understanding, and having a very hard time doing it when they're in the midst of like the hustle and bustle of the world. And so the Hanged Man like goes out into the forest and hangs themselves by the tree upside down, and when they're upside down, they gain this other perspective where things that once looked and appeared a particular way to them then change in form. And so the way that they had seen things like money before in certain relationships, it loses the connotation that it had at one point in time, and the meaning, and it is altered into something else. So these are changes in ways where you can't imagine something being any different. And then through this, I'm hearing fixation, through this like retrospective introspection, there's going to be a different perspective that's like assimilated, and something that can become more congruent with your growth. As you're in this time, because this can be like a transient space when you're sort of like in an in-between thinking about things. Again, this is not about taking immediate action. This is like, let me be passive for a moment and let me try to just work with what I already have. I don't want to overstimulate myself further. I want to back up and I want to see what's going on here. I really want to feel things out. You may have somebody coming through when you're in this space, because you could get lost here too. This is kind of like you traveling around like in the astral land. This is you like maybe meditating, maybe thinking, maybe journaling, maybe listening to music, processing. That's all that stuff with Neptune here. It's kind of just like letting things kind of filter through, and you're feeling it, and you're getting in touch with what's going on, seeing how you want to approach this situation. You may have somebody come through and knock on your door and be like, hey, what are you doing over here? I need something from you. They may be coming to give you information. They may be coming to sort of like wake you up into movement too. This can even be the vibe of like your alarm clock going off. Like you could have had a particular like amount of time that you set aside to be thinking about something, and now you're kind of being brought back into, pulled back out. Because Hanged Man, again, can be kind of like getting lost in your thoughts and kind of like going into your imagination, because that's what Neptune is about, and that's who rules this card. So yeah, you may have something coming through that kind of, it's like bursts your little thinking bubble a bit. But this can also be like your own thoughts, because this is like a strong sense of like clear cognition that comes through as well. So again, like it can be like somebody outside of yourself that's prompting you, that's kind of like jostling something up and like waking you up out of a haziness, which can also be Neptune. Can also be stuff planetarily as well that's happening too. This can definitely be somebody coming through and wanting to talk to you, and they're like, I haven't heard anything from you. What's going on? Yeah. Wanting to talk to you. We have Mercury here with the Magician. Somebody coming through and being like, hey, what's up? This is somebody wanting to like build with you, wanting to create with you, wanting to at least have a conversation with you. They could be asking you if you're interested in doing something together, wanting to see where you are mentally too. To have Neptune and Mercury coming together with the Hanged Man and the Magician, this can be somebody being like, hey, like, where's your mind at? What's going on with you? Like, where are you? What are you thinking? What have you been thinking about? Checking in. Two of Cups. This would be somebody close to you. They may be checking in to see where you are with the relationship. I suppose if this is a situation that concerns them. I will say this too, if this is just all play between you and yourself, this is you getting to a point where you're having some sort of epiphany. You have that clarity that kind of like breaks through. And then you're in a spot where you're like, now I know what I want to do. Now I can see what I'm thinking. Now I can see like all of the different pieces that felt very, very hazy and very foggy before. And I know what I want to do with them. This is being in a spot where you kind of have like all of your paints laid out and you have the canvas like tightened and set up and you're ready to get to it. This is like you being in a space where you feel prepared to get things done and you know what you want to do. There's a sense of intention here, and there's a sense of you also having what you need to be able to get things done too, which is definitely going to happen. 9 of Pentacles. This is you definitely getting an outcome that you want here. But there's still something about this that feels a bit off. You may have some things that are going perfectly well, and there may be other things where you're like, I still feel like that other thing hasn't been worked out yet. 4 of Swords. So you taking this space as the Hanged Man to kind of like sit back and relax for a minute, I'm seeing this is sort of needed because I'm actually getting you in more of a resting period over here, at least in the beginning. 2 of Swords, this is like, I need to kind of recharge before I give you my answer, before I make a decision. So there can be something coming up where it's like, as soon as this little vacation moment is over, or as soon as you wake up the next day, whenever this is done, there's something that you need to do where you're going to have to make a decision or communicate, because there are swords here. So swords are air energy, so that means like having a conversation with somebody, making a choice, choosing a direction, but usually something that needs to be communicated. It seems like it's connected with where you're going long term. Four of Swords can also be like needing to rest your mind and connect and ground before you make a choice, like wanting to de-stress and unwind so you feel like you're in a centered space so you can make a decision that needs to be addressed. For some reason, I was like sort of expecting a little bit the Strength card to come out. So we have Neptune, Mercury, Leo, and the Sun. All right, so you could have Leo, Mercury, Leo, Sun. Could be dealing with a Leo, Mercury, Leo, Sun. So you take a break. A decision needs to be made. This may not be the easiest decision. Whenever the Strength card comes up, it's your guides being like, you can do this, you got this. It's going to take fortitude, but it's definitely something you're able to do. Allow yourself to really like unleash your self-expression. This is like double Sun here. So this is like being brave, being yourself, like being authentic. Sun is like a very powerful energy of you expressing yourself. Strength card may be a situation where it may not be the easiest thing to do. Again, that's what this fortitude is about. It's like marching to the beat of your own drum, doing what feels right to you, being patient with yourself, being compassionate with yourself, and then being in a space where you also feel, this card is also very much about like these two energies within you that you're getting to work together. And then Sun is like this enlightenment, this understanding. It's your vitality, and it's also how you express yourself too. So this may be a bold move on your part. That's what this looks like. But it's definitely something, you know, sometimes your guides are like, listen, go into hermit mode. You don't need to do anything right now. Like, lay low. You don't need to be making big splashes in the water. This is not that moment. This is a moment where your guides are like, be brave, express yourself, step up, do what feels right to you. Shine, let yourself shine. So definitely when it comes to this Four of Swords, which again is like this little resting period that you have, your guides are saying do not do this resting period and like numb your mind. This is the time to be reflecting and thinking about something. There's something mentally that needs to be addressed, mentally, spiritually with Neptune here, emotionally, something that needs to be addressed here. So again, this is not like you have 2 days off and you just spend the whole time like watching TV. Like, that's not this moment. This is like spend time connecting with yourself. Like, look at this person. There's a sense of intention even in the rest. Like, the focus is to recharge, but it's also to get connected. Like, see these praying hands, how it like goes up. There's this connecting with like your guides, connecting with your intuition, especially too with Neptune here. Neptune is a very spiritual energy. So this is you checking in the way you do, whether that means like journaling, you talking to yourself, you doing tarot readings, you talking to your friends. It's like people that help you to reflect, or you helping yourself to reflect, or you talking to like your guides and stuff so that you can connect with what's really going on. And it's also going to help you see something that you need to see. Because this person, the reason why there's this light around here, and especially because it's yellow too, the light is awareness, consciousness, energy, focus, just like the sun here. And it's yellow, connected with your willpower of, because I've had this understanding now, because it's in the crown chakra area, it's like I can see what I need to do. And then yellow is connected with your solar plexus. So that's like, I know what I need to do now. This can be somebody coming through and being like, I have more information for you. This can also be a moment where you feel like things have become very clear and you finally get that message or that understanding that you need. It doesn't have to be from a person. This can be a synchronicity that you're seeing. It can be a message from your guides that are coming in. But whatever this is that comes through, it's something that brings more clarity to you. Valuable information that helps you make a decision that needs to be made. And it tells you what you want to be creating, what you want to be doing, how to take action. But it may not be the easiest thing. So this is something where it's really expected of you right now to be stepping up in a way that your guides are like, listen, you can do this. It may not be the easiest thing, but this is something that you're capable of. To have the Magician here, to have Mercury, it's anything that you could be communicating or expressing or bringing into your reality or creating. So this can be writing, it can be speaking, it can be texting someone, it can be calling, it can be you deciding that you're going to create something. It's about like letting your divine spirit speak through you and channeling that energy. And again, to have the Strength card, this may be you speaking up in a way that maybe isn't the most comfortable thing to do, or you expressing yourself in a way that you're going to really have to channel that aspect of the Leo energy within you. Again, all of us have Leo in our charts somewhere. And so it's just you tapping into that. Nine of Pentacles shows that you're going to get a very ideal outcome. This is like you get the ideal outcome and you also get to enjoy whatever this outcome is too. And the Sun is like something that like brings you a lot of happiness as well. And you realizing like, hey, because I did this and because I was brave and I really stepped up within this situation, look at what I got because of that. It's like one of those like high risk, high reward situations. This is what I'm seeing here. Something that, again, because the Strength card is here, it may not have been the most easy thing for you to do, or it doesn't feel like the easiest thing for you to do. But this is definitely your guides being like, listen, you're capable of it, so do it. Push yourself to do this. This is a good thing for you. This is definitely a growing experience. and then you definitely get what you want out of it. But this is more than just what you want. This is like you also get to have a period of enjoying and kind of like basking in the glory of whatever this is that you're doing here. For some of you, this is connected with like a project or a route or like a road or a path that you want to be moving down. Looking at Neptune, Mercury, Leo, and the Sun. Also too, to have Leo here, this can be something creative. Leo is about, it can be connected with fashion, with you expressing yourself, creativity, acting, any sort of entertainment, sports, things where you would be like on center stage, putting yourself out there. To have both the Sun and Leo here, and Mercury can be like an announcement, graphic design for some of you, like really anything creative, anything like artistically related. Maybe you want to make something. You could be at the point where you're deciding actually like what route you're going to go down specifically. It seems like something too about your values or like even your self-worth may be changing. Let's just use an example. I see this as self-value more than anything. Okay, I'm getting both. So, quick example. Before, you could have been doing work and getting paid a certain amount, and now you feel like your worth has increased, and so you're like, I'm only going to do jobs that pay me X amount now, and it may be like a bit of an increase. This can also be connected with self-worth too, as far as your interpersonal relationships, where you're like, I want to be around friends or a support system that is showing up like this, and it may be differently. Like maybe before you were hanging around people that were like unreliable, or maybe they like didn't treat you how you wanted to be treated, or this can be within your relationship, stuff like that. And now you're in a space where you're like, I deserve more than that. Like I don't feel like I'm being treated like fairly in this situation. I'm going to advocate for myself, or I'm going to look for something else that I feel like better matches my energy. Because there could be stuff that you feel like right now, or that you have been doing that doesn't completely match your energy, and you feel like there's an offset, and you want to like rebalance that because there's like something that you're developing or gaining. It's just going to take a while. You're figuring this out. It's not going to be something that makes like clear automatic sense to you. Like I'm seeing something that you're still finding your way through. But addressing it, when stuff is coming up and it's like cloudy emotionally, don't run from it. Just look at it and see what's going on. I'm definitely getting a big confirmation here. If you have situations that come up and throw you off, or they're confusing, or you're like, I don't like that I don't know this, or that it doesn't make sense, or that I'm not just automatically perfect at this, this is still something that you're figuring out. Also too, if you have self-esteem issues, if you have issues with your self-worth, I'm seeing this is also something that you're figuring out too, which is a tricky thing to do. I think like so many of us go through issues with our self-esteem where we try to figure out like what is going to make me feel worthy, like what do I need to do for myself where I'm not going to feel like terrible about myself all the time, you know? And everybody has their own individual path, but there's something here connected with what looks like reciprocity and fairness to you when it comes to like, this is what I'm worth and this is how I want to be treated, or these are my expectations and I'm worthy of having those needs met, stuff like this, whether it be your relationships or your work. Seven of Cups can be like, I don't know what that looks like right now. It could look like this. It could look like that. I see that person doing this over here and that's working for them. This is like figuring it out, but something that may not make a whole lot of sense to you right now. And also, some of you may be getting help for this too. I'm not saying it be like anything serious, but there may be somebody that becomes a bit of a guide for you, or you're doing like self-help or something like that, or at least looking into it. Okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.